Terrific. Good morning, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure and privilege to be facilitating this very timely discussion on China's expanding capabilities, innovations, and investment interests across the global mining supply chain, and in particular in critical minerals. We do read a lot in the press about what's going on. This morning, we have the privilege of listening directly from four of the world's global leaders in this area: upstream, midstream, downstream. I know the team has been introduced, but just want to very quickly say, Raj, and to Zane, John, Ming, thank you for being here. Raj is the CEO of Tianqi Energy Lithium Australia and a major owner of the world's largest lithium deposit, as you probably know, and lots to talk about there. Zane, congrats on your successful IPO in Hong Kong for CATL. Zane's the general manager in Australia, and CATL is the world's largest IPO so far this year. To Ming, head of Australia, Zhejiang Huayou Cobalt, one of the world's largest cobalt processors and producers, and also have a variety of interest in other critical minerals. And finally to John, who's based in Perth and spent a lot of time globally, and a director of mining equipment for Oceana, and one of the top 4 largest suppliers of mining equipment in the world. And John, congrats on your recent firm orders to FMG, up to 300 electric trucks so far, and more to come, and also with BHP and Rio as well. So well done on that. With that, perhaps I'll start with you, Raj. If I could get each of the panelists to spend 2-3 minutes introducing their businesses, global footprint, and interest in Australia so far. Raj, over to you first.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for the introduction, and thank you for having me here today. As Jason introduced, my name is Raj Surendran. I'm the CEO of Tianqi Lithium Energy Australia, which is a joint venture between Tianqi Lithium Corporation from China, who's a dual-listed organization in Shenzhen and Hong Kong, and IGO, Independence Group Australia. So the joint venture is 51% TLC and 49% IGO. The main assets that the joint venture owns and runs and operates is a lithium hydroxide plant in Kwinana, which is just south of Perth, which is a 24,000-ton train that produces lithium hydroxide. And the other major asset is a 51% stake in Greenbushes, which is the world's highest quality and largest hard rock spodumene mine in the world. TLC, our 51% shareholder, as I mentioned, is dual listed and has been around in the lithium business for over 30 years and has multiple plants, both carbonate and hydroxide plants in China, over probably about 110,000 tons of equivalent LCE production. And they've got stakes in SQM, 20% stake in SQM. The ownerships here, as well as recently signing an MOU with Levista in Europe to help secure the battery chain in Europe as well.
Thanks, Raj. Over to you, John.
Okay. My name is John. I look after XMG Oceania mining equipment in Western Australia and across all the XMG Oceania region. I used to work in the United States for XMG for 8 years. I've been with XMG for like 13 years, all working globally for international business. So XMG is a multinational manufacturer of the mining and construction equipment, founded in 1943, originally in China. We have 82 years of experience and development. Our portfolio covers a complete range of equipment, starting from construction like cranes, earth moving, road construction equipment, to port machinery, agricultural sanitation, mining equipment, and also we're developing our OEM finance, as well as international internet technology, information technology, and we are working very closely with a lot of partnerships around the globe with our manufacturing base in not just China. We are building our footprint across the global, including the United States, Germany, Brazil, India, and 5 key manufacturing plants globally, different states. And we were actually entering the Australian market in 1999. And since then, during the past 20 plus years, we've been developing ourselves and helping the community. We've been growing alongside the local community and the mining industry in Australia. And we are setting ourselves at a position, not just the product sales, but building a strong support to the society, to the community, including the creating the jobs and building up the contribution to the whole economy and community. We are also working on our R&D center and local finance solutions for Australian market. And we hope to bring more and greener, smarter equipment and more friendly and environmental friendly solutions to the market. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Zane, thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks. This is Zane Zhou. So I'm the general manager for CATL Oceania. CATL is established in 2014, and we are the biggest manufacturer of lithium battery in the world. Globally, we've got every 1 out of 3 electrical vehicle. There's one battery manufactured by us. And in energy storage side, we have about 40% of global market share as well. One of our biggest customers is Tesla. And in Australia, I think a lot of the energy storage system and EVs are now equipped with our battery inside as well. So CATL Australia is established 3 years by now. And we globally have 4 to 5 international manufacturing facility across Hungary, Germany, Spain, and Indonesia. Thank you.
Thanks, Zane. Ming?
Thanks, John. Yeah, my name is Ming Wong from Huayou Cobalt Limited. I'm the head of Australia. And Huayou Cobalt ourselves is one of the largest cobalt producers in the world. We have about 20% of the market share in terms of shipment of cobalt products. In a bigger picture, Huayou is also an integrated battery material producer in the world. So we have our midstream and downstream material, including precursor and cathode material, which are produced in China and also outside of China. We've been start looking at projects and opportunity in Australia since 2023. So in terms of our footprint, Huayou have quite a significant presence in Indonesia for cobalt and precursor productions. We also have African footprint and assets, including cobalt and copper operations in the DRC, as well as lithium operations in Zimbabwe. We are also building out some processing capacity in terms of cathode production in Hungary. And Australia is one of the area where we focus a lot, given that is a major supplier of critical minerals to the world.
Thanks, Ming. So let me go on the topic of innovation, and I'll start with you, John, if that's okay. You, XCMG, major producer of these electric vehicle trucks, but I also learned recently you also manufacture the batteries. So keen to just understand a bit about how innovation is being deployed in your business globally and also for Australia.
Sure. Actually, XCMG has been adopting to a approach where we want to jointly cooperate with industry leaders like CATL. It's a great honor to be here to share the stage with senior management of CATL. And also we are cooperating with other local partners like BHP, Rio Tinto, Fortescue, like Jason just mentioned. And we're building our national, I would say, dealership network, especially Brooks Hire from the Western Australia on the equipment sales and rental. Talking about innovation, I would like to mention that In 2023, we specifically cooperated with a very key new energy technology company called BYD. XCMG had a strategic joint venture with BYD on the battery production. From the very initial ingredients like graphite, aluminum, the copper, folio, to the very end of the blade battery cell, which is a very world-renowned battery segment globally. Battery cell, blade cell, and then from blade cell we pack all the layers of the cells up to a full package of the battery, which will be eventually installed onto our equipment, from commercial vehicles to construction equipment, and eventually we'll apply our battery pack onto the mining equipment. So XCMG is currently the only one OEM in the industry who produces a battery to ourselves and supply to ourselves. So we are actually building a very large production plant in our city where XCMG locates with 20 billion Australian dollars invested and jointly work with BYD to produce the battery. And we believe the green solution, green energy, is the future. And eventually, XCMG will help Australian industry, government to reach the zero carbon emission target in the near future by providing the pure battery electric solution of our mining equipment. It's not just trucks, but also auxiliary equipment, battery support, battery management, recycling, and also the battery generation, the electricity generation, etc. It's a whole package of the solution for the future. Yeah. So I would say this is the very key strategic movement of XCMG moving forward, and we are trying to hold the trend of the future and lead the future.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Very impressive. And Zane, how about CATL? You produce most of the batteries for the world. Could you give us a bit of an example of innovation, how that's being deployed? I know there's a lot to say there, but perhaps an idea. Thanks.
Sure. So I think there's two things we definitely want to mention. One is we have the world's largest patents in chemistry side for the battery, and doesn't matter whether it's NCM or LFP or what we call Nexera, which is the sodium-ion battery, which will reduce the battery costs quite heavily in the future. So we see innovation and safety are the key two things that we looking forward to keep. There's more and more EV penetration in the world, and there's a lot of features that we bring up nowadays. For example, the 12C battery charging, which almost can fill up a car with electricity within 20 minutes, and it still keep very safe. So these are all the enablers, and we believe we want to be the enabler in the decarbonization transition for not just the mining company, but the whole society. And through the electrification process, we focus quite a lot on the ESG and also the quality. So compared to, for example, a lot of the other ones, we probably are the fundamental technology enabler, and we support not only just one manufacturer, but probably a platform of car manufacturers, heavy vehicle manufacturers like XCMG. So there's a lot to do joined together.
Thanks, Zane. And I think you did mention you've got factories around the world. What are some of the locations of your factories?
Yeah, of course. There are Germany factory, Spanish factory, also Hungary factory, and the most recent one is Indonesia factory, which is adjacent. So you probably noticed that a lot of them are adjacent to the world-class manufacturer like Stellantis, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and also adjacent to all of the miners. So it's sort of close to both the upstream and the downstream.
So Australia next, Zane?
There is a good opportunity for a lot of local manufacturing and initiatives are proposed by the government. So we're happy to involve in the discussion as well.
Thanks, Zane.
Thank you.
Raj, I'm going to come to you. Congrats on all the stuff you guys have done down there. Not simple, I appreciate. Could you give us a bit of your experience in building the plant and what's transpired there and lessons for the future?
Sure. Look, the plant that we built that I mentioned before, the Kwinana plant, that was originally designed and construction started back in 2015. So it's a 10-year-old plant, even though we've only been running it for about 3 years. So it was the first of its kind to be built outside of China. And by first of its kind, I mean continuous production, fully automated lithium hydroxide plant, right? So it was built in a country that had no experience building it, no workforce, no design engineering experience. So it was a gamble by Tianqi that perhaps didn't quite pay off like the way they would have liked it to. As a comparison, they've recently completed, so the plant in Kwinana, sorry, let me just say the plant in Kwinana commenced construction in late 2015, completed construction in 2020, and we're still ramping it up because of all the sort of engineering, design, technical, but we're making great steps, right? In comparison, Tianqi, in the 10 years since then, have upped their game or have learned so much that they've recently completed a 30,000-ton dual product, being carbonate or hydroxide, which they can switch from one day to the other in 11 months. And they'll look to ramp that up in probably 4 to 5 months up to for nameplate capacity. So we have struggled, but over the years we have built up the ecosystem that can support our plant, and there's 2 other plants in Perth that I believe are benefiting from, I guess, the fact that we were pioneers in setting up that plant, in designing and setting up that plant, and commencing the build of the ecosystem that is required for this critical minerals industry.
Okay, no, well done, and appreciate your support for the Australian community here in WA. And the next plant will be easier, Raj.
Yes, hopefully. So we've got a partially built second train that we put on indefinite hold whilst, the lithium market, as we all know, is a bit subdued at the moment. So there's no real investment incentive at the moment, given the price. But, if the price was to head up to a level that was sustained and that would encourage the investment, then we would look to completing that build of that second train as well, I'm sure.
Thanks, Raj. Over to you, Ming. How about innovation in Zhejiang Huayou? You've got lots of operations around the world. Could you give us an example of how you guys are going about that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jason. That's a very good question. So Huayou had a lot of focus putting on product innovation and R&D. To give an example of that, I'll probably give an example about what we're doing in Zimbabwe. We have acquired a lithium project in Zimbabwe around 2021. The project is currently producing spodumene and petalite. As part of our innovation strategy, we are also building a lithium sulfate plant on the ground in Zimbabwe. So that is currently being constructed. I'll say, I think it's been reported publicly, it's about a $400 million plant that we're constructing in Zimbabwe, and it's looking to produce lithium sulfate next year in 2026. Nameplate capacity is about 50,000 tons per annum. And that's just an example of what we're doing in terms of implementing R&D and also product technology into the different production chain, particularly in the midstream and the downstream area where the sulfate will be produced and shipped to China for refined lithium conversion. So I think that's just one of the recent examples. Obviously, another example is about the continued R&D development between the different type of precursor product from the lithium space, between LFP and also MNC product. Recently speaking, Huayou had quite a significant increase of our nickel production for the current year of 22-25, particularly in relation to high efficiency or high content nickel products. So I think those are the example of what we're doing.
Thanks, Ming. I noted that a slight cost advantage in Zimbabwe factory, is that right, compared to building in Australia?
Yes, I think from a CapEx and OpEx point of view, there's a slight advantage in terms of, for example, mining costs and processing costs and some of those elements. But you know, different countries have different cost mix, so it's, you know, there are some areas where there's a slight advantage.
Yeah. Thanks. So I realize we don't have a lot of time, but very quickly across the panel, you know, what's the future strategy for Australia? Raj, starting with you, what's the next step for Tianqi Lithium?
Look, I'll try being quick. I think from a Tianqi Lithium Energy Australia perspective, I think we are positioned quite uniquely because we're Australian. We are Australian located. We are part of this global push for decarbonisation. Our production, we are nicely balanced in the sense that we've got local production where we're not just digging it and shipping it like a lot of miners. We're actually onshore processing it here. We were the pioneers of the midstream lithium processing here in Australia, and I think there's a lot to be gained from doing that, bringing that transfer of IP and knowledge here into Australia. We need to take advantage of that, and I think from a lithium industry perspective, it's looking like we'll still be in an oversupply sort of position for a couple of years, and we've just got to stay resilient and continue the fight.
Thanks, Raj. Good luck with all that.
Thank you.
John, very quickly, next steps for XCMG beyond, you've got now 3 big clients and many more to come. What's the next step for XCMG?
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, although our footprint reached out to over 190 countries, regions, we still believe that Australia would be the key market for our future investment and concentration, especially on the mining business sector, because Australian mining business regarding the mining or mining equipment, it sets the highest standard worldwide, and we'll focus on our future transformation, you know, set forth by our chairman. Greener, intelligent, high-end, international, and service-oriented. So we'll stick to our transformation on the greener vision, building more smarter, greener solution of our equipment to Australian market. And in this market, we have learned a lot, and we'll prove ourselves, grow a lot also in the future. Hopefully, in the future, we can be a very trusted partnership to the key miners and contractors in the industry and bring more and more value to Australia.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Zane, last word there in terms of next steps in Australia for CATL.
Sure, we'll do more in Australia. Australia is a very lucky country. If you look down, there's a lot of minerals. If you look up, there's unlimited sun. So we want to be the eco partners for from government to private company, miners, for residential players as well. So not just electrification, decarbonization, mining transition, and also future AI. All of these will need batteries, and we're happy to be the technology enabler. Thank you.
Thanks, Zane. Appreciate that. And Ming, finally, what's the next step for Huayou Cobalt in Australia?
Yeah, Australia remains as a very important market for Huayou Cobalt. It is a very critical supplier of minerals to the world. So as a next step, Huayou will continue to look at opportunities locally in Australia, and probably particularly in view of, for example, joint venture or collaborations with local partners in order to sort of deliver our strategy in Australia.
Thanks, Ming. We've run out of time, unfortunately. I think I got a few minutes stolen from me. Notwithstanding, I think that's been a fascinating discussion on, again, 4 of the world's leading players in this space. But I've heard a lot about expanding the operation here, collaboration, and there's a significant global footprint by all of these companies here, lots of interesting innovation that I think the mining sector will benefit greatly from. So once again, thank you to the panelists and thank you to all of you for your attention. Would you please join me in thanking the panelists today?